Hello beautiful people, my name is Flame Bruce. I'm a music producer and also a poultry farmer. In today's video, I want to show you guys an easy way to brood birds from day old till when you take them off from the brooding stage. So let's get right onto it. Before the birds are allowed into the brooding pen, you need to make sure you disinfect the place about 2 weeks before they arrive. Like this piece right here is about 2.5 feet by 6 feet floor spacing. So I can actually use here to brood 50 birds here till 2 weeks. You know, these birds I'm about brooding are my neighbor's birds. He's not free this period, so he asked me to help him to brood these birds. Normally I don't like brooding birds that are about 50, because the same heat you use to brood 50 birds is the same heat that you can use to brood up to 200 birds. So but since I'm not in a position to stock in my own right now, so I'll just do this for him, and he has 2 turkeys inside. So first of all, since the birds are coming, they left the hatchery about a day ago. That's yesterday. So you need to make sure that you have glucose in the water for them and your source of heat or in the brooding pen already. Like now, this is the kerosene. I'm using this kerosene stove as my source of heat. If you notice very well, since I just turned off the stove, I just allowed the windows and the doors for the smoke to go out, because this smoke that the stove produces is not actually good for the birds. So when the stove is coming up, most kerosene stove will always produce large quantity of smoke at that starting point. So that's why I've not covered the side walls very well. Normally you're supposed to cover them, but even if I'm covering them, I'm not going to cover them totally that there will not be some ventilation coming in, because if you make a place airtight, the birds cannot inhale fresh oxygen. They need to get some air in as much as you're making the place a bit covered. You know, because the essence of brooding is giving the birds the kind of environment that the mother hen gives to its chicks. So without further much ado, these are starter feeds. If you observe very well, you say that my floor, I have not even used wood shavings or sawdust. I'm not supposed to use sawdust, I'm supposed to use wood shavings, but I don't have wood shavings available right now, so I'll just left them on the plain floor. Most times I wouldn't like bringing my birds on plain floor on the very first day, because sometimes I like spreading this feed on the floor so that they can also have easy access to them. You know, since I'm not using a cardboard on the floor. In a very big farm, what they use, they pour the wood shavings and then spread carbon paper on some areas, so that the birds always have availability of feed around the pen, because since they are just coming, you don't need to allow them to struggle to look for feed. So you need to make sure the feeds are spread around, you know, for them to have that quick access. So the first thing I'm going to do right now, the place is a bit warm right now, so I'm going to bring in the birds right now. So just stay with me. Okay, let's do the counts together of this pack. You know, I quickly spotted the one that is very weak. I had to pull it out immediately from the pack. So let's do the counts. These are the turkeys. One of them. Here's the second one. Here's the second guy. Okay, this is the second one. The face is different. 2. That's 2 of them. So let's start counting the brothers. 2, 4. 4. Yes. They're very eager to go out. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 50. So I guess the extra one is the one that has little issue here already, because normally they usually add an extra one just in case you have any weakness of them along the way during transportation. So like you can see here very well, if you observe these birds very well, they are very active and lively. These are a major sign of birds that will do very well, because once they get out from the carton, they are supposed to start looking around, hunting, scouting the area, going for feed, going for water, and you can see them, they are very active and lively. So this is a huge sign that these birds will do very well. So any day-old birds that will do very well, from the day you see them when they arrive, you will definitely know from the level of energy there is a bit, you know that these ones are going to grow fast and do very well for you. So like I said, see how I spread the feeds on the floor. Normally, even if you're using wood shavings on the floor, it's good for you to use carbon papers or old newspapers on the floor. Spread the feeds around so that the birds get to have access to them. Since I have these old trays, I still use them. But even if you don't have this tray, fine. On the first day that the birds arrive, you just spread your feed around. Then maybe afterward, you start using the conventional feeders for them. So the next thing I'm going to do, these windows, I'm going to try to cover them, but I'm not going to cover them all totally. So just stay with me while I go and get some stuff materials to cover these windows to reduce the inflow of wind into this space. So like you can see right now, I've already shaded this window with some cartons. In fact, the cartons the bed came with, that's what I use in covering it very well. I didn't cover it totally so that some ventilation can come in a little bit from this end. So, but this end, I use feed bags to cover them. So you can see that this room now is a bit covered, and let's say it's not totally airtight, but it's okay enough to absorb the heat for a while. And I still have ventilation coming in so that the birds can still get in some air, you know, while the place is warm. So the heat level is a bit high because the weather on this day is cold. So I have to just increase the heat a little bit. Maybe later in the day I will reduce it. And you can see the birds are properly spaced. That means the heat is enough for them. So if they are crowded in a place, you know that they are feeling cold, they need more heat. Like you can see very well, the feeds are spread on the floor, they're already feeding on them. You see those ones, they are feeding on those ones. So far so good, these birds are doing very well. I think this one might just be the only mortality we have for the day. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Let me just still give it access to water if it can survive. Let me give it some water. Mind you, this water contains the glucose to give them energy, because of the past one day, let me say, yes, they were on the road coming down here, so you just need to give them glucose. Then after about 8 hours, I'll then give them the first antibiotics, you know. So thanks for watching this far. If you're new to this channel, please just do well to subscribe to help this channel to grow wide, and click the like button. You know, brooding is not difficult thing. Just give the birds a covered space with heat. Your heat source could be a stove like this. I like using the stove, you know, because it's a bit easier for me to regulate. There's also gas brooders that you can use, and some people also use charcoal brooders. You know, they have the charcoal pots that people use for brooding. The main thing is just give them heat. Why you can use incandescent bulbs. Incandescent bulbs produce more heat, so you can use incandescent bulbs to give your birds source of heat. So any source of heat that you choose, but make sure that the heat is enough for them and not too much, so that they can just stay warm for the first few days while they're developing feathers and their immune system growing better. So thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.